Basic mining standards for young people. Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters, and in today's video I've just been asked a couple of questions by a few younger viewers that were wanting to get into the mining industry. So I just want to do a video for people, some basic standards so they can have a look, and we're going to use the sponsors page website to do that. So we're going to come over here to the mining career checklist, and all the pages that we're going to look at are in the new starters column. So this is one in the mining career checklist. And if you come down, you'll see that there's a whole heap of standards that you need to meet to be able to get a job. The big one is the manual driver's license. With the surface at the moment, you know, they all want a HR, but if you don't have a HR, they'll put you through one normally. But what they really need everybody to have is a manual driver's license. So out of all this, the first step, if you're a younger person, is to get your manual car license. That's a deal breaker for a lot of jobs. So you can have a look at the other ones here too, so you understand what sort of things you need. But from a basic point of view, the manual driver's license is one of the most important things. So the next thing that you need to move on to is understanding where you want to work and what sort of job you want to do, because a lot of schools and a lot of places, they push the professional jobs and the trades. They don't actually push the crew jobs. And while the professional jobs and the trades, they pay well, what nobody really tells anybody that's younger these days is that the crew jobs pay well as well. And yeah, you can get on as a nipper or a truck driver, a diamond driller off-sider, an agi operator or a truck operator for between $400 to $500 a day. And once they can leave you alone, it normally goes up between $500 and $600 a day. So that's your $80,000 to $120,000 a year, depending on what roster you're doing. And then you can move up into the second tier. And it normally takes a couple of years to get up into the second tier, but you're talking about service crew, leading hand, bogger operator, service crew, pace crew, that type of thing. And those type of jobs are going for between $550 and all the way up to over $1,000 a day. And when you're talking about over $1,000 a day, that's what most the top pay for most of the trades and most of the professionals. You really have to progress into management to get above that. There are people that are, like we say in the industry, whoring themselves out to the labour hire companies and getting more money for that sort of thing. But I'm talking full-time jobs here. So with the full-time jobs, just realise that on the crew, you can make just as much money as you can if you get in with one of the professional jobs. And then obviously as you move into the senior jobs like a jumbo operator or a shift boss or a foreman, the pay goes up even more. And so it's, you know, up to $1,000 to $2,500 a day. So jumbo operators and foremans, they all make that sort of money, if not more. Shift bosses, you're looking at around $1,500 a day at the moment at a lot of places. Sometimes a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more, just depending on what's going on. And as with, like I said before, if you want to go to the labour hire companies and, like the industry says, whore yourself out for the most money that you can make, then yeah, these numbers can increase significantly. But you know, all these jobs and all these numbers are based around full-time work and a full-time job, so 20 days annual leave. The next thing that you've got to work out is what sort of area of the industry are you going to get into. Now, to do this, you need to understand the three forms of mining. So there's the strip mining, the pit mining, and the underground. So with the strip mining at the moment, it used to be a lot of job that used to be people intensive, so people driving the big dump trucks on the surface. It's not so much anymore. That's all gone driverless, unfortunately. That's why we're on the autonomous truck page, because it details how they've gone autonomous in strip mining and in a lot of the pits. So the deeper pits they can't, because they're still only one way in and one way out, and they need bums in seats. But there's not a lot of deep pits because you have to have a wide high grade or a reasonably high grade ore body to create a really deep pit like a super pit or something like the super pit. There are mines around like that are those sort of things. But with most mines, if the ore body's 5 metres or less and you get 150 metres down in the pit, then it's normally viable to go straight into underground mining. It becomes more cost effective than stripping all the waste rock around and making the pit bigger. So it's more cost effective to go underground. And that's why there's so many hard rock underground jobs around. So if we go over to Seek and we type underground in, you'll see all the jobs around, and there's lots of entry-level stuff. And with the underground stuff, they're not looking for HR licenses. They're just looking for a manual car license and somebody that knows how their mine works. And yeah, there's heaps of work around the country. This is our map loaded up with all the mines around the country that are doing gold and everything that's going into batteries. This is where the growth of the industry is going to be, the gold and the batteries. Where it's all leveled out at the moment is in coal and iron ore. And these are the decisions that you need to make when you go into the industry. You need to understand, that price affects what's going on with your job, demand affects what's going on with your job, automation, where they can automate, it affects you with what's going on with your job. And like I tell most people, if you're looking at a coal mine or an iron ore mine, then the best you could probably hope for is, 1 or 2 job placements above where you are on the mine that you started on in 10 years' time, because that's the reality of the situation. Whereas if you go with one of these hard rock underground mining jobs and get on the crew and work your way up, then in 10 years' time, you could be a foreman working somewhere around the world, or you could be working in there's a whole heap of diverse different metals that all get mined the same way with the hard rock underground method. And that's why there's a lot more opportunity, there's a lot more jobs moving forward, and it's a lot better paid. So I just wanted to do a quick video about that. Of course, you can get all your mining knowledge from the training that we've got, the DIY package, or the work ready package, or the new 3-step plan package, the 3-step plan, the DIY and the resume package. This is a good one to look at because it runs through the 3 steps in a plan that you need to get a job. And again, understanding how it all works and knowing what's going on makes a huge difference to being able to get yourself in. So if you're a young person, or even if you're only young at heart, then the big thing is the manual car license, understanding which area of the industry that you want to go into, understanding where the demand is, so that's gold and base metals at the moment, and that's going to give you your longevity to your career. And you're going to be able to get on and make really good money, because that's what mining's all about. Mining's about getting in and making good money. The last thing you want to do is get a mining job and only make average money. So I hope that makes sense, and if you've got any more questions, please send them through, and if you could like and subscribe the channel. Thanks.